Welcome, sweet friends, to the channel Frugal Money Saver. My name is Emmy. My husband is Paul. We are so happy you have joined us today. Today's video, we are getting serious. We have had a bunch of things going on here these past couple of weeks that we're going to share with you, and we really need to buckle down and get back to saving money. And one of the things we have lapsed in doing is keeping track of what is in our pantry, and also, for me, some serious meal planning. We're buying stuff, we're putting it away, and we're not utilizing it like we should, and it's going to end up costing us money if we don't use it. We are going to plan a week's worth of menus using pantry items, and we're also going to cook a pantry meal today. So just a bunch of what we hope are money-saving ideas and tips to help you get serious about fighting inflation. First thing that's going on here, the other day we noticed our oil burner was leaking. There was like this drip coming out of it. And the odd thing was we had just had the same problem about 4 months ago. We couldn't figure out what happened and why it was leaking again. Now, this is a fairly new burner. And also, if you remember, a couple videos back, we showed Paul fixing the water faucet up in the bathroom because we couldn't control the leak on this faucet. Paul went out, bought all new parts, finally had to buy a whole new faucet set. So these weird little things are going on. When the boiler man came to fix the leak yet again, the problem is the water pressure is too high. The water pressure coming into our home should be about 65 pounds. They tested the water pressure. It was coming in at 160 pounds. What? That's why everything was popping valves, because the water pressure was coming in so strong. So we had to call our water company now. Water company then had to come in and put a whole new water regulator in. So between the oil burner people coming and going and the new water regulator, we've been spending quite a bit of money. Thank goodness we have it. As we always tell you, save, save, save. Put that money away for situations just like this. So this has just been a whirlwind of water-related activities. It's been a wet couple of days here. So in the meantime, we're preoccupied with everything going on. I'm not cooking the way I should. We're using the same foods over and over again. We're running through the drive-thru. Yes, exactly what I told you not to do. The other night we went to Taco Bell. Needless to say, it did not agree with me at all, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, we need to get serious now. Life happens. Please be prepared when life happens. Have that emergency fund. Keep adding to it, please. Now, one way we can do this, and I am a big, big fan of meal planning and keeping a stock pantry and freezer and refrigerator, and you all know that. But if you're not utilizing what you have, then you're not being a good steward of your money. And for these last couple days, hand raised, we were just grabbing stuff out of the refrigerator. I wasn't cooking complete meals. So now we are back to it, and I am so excited to share this with you. First thing I'm going to show you is a picture of our pantry. I've been buying stuff and just shoving it in. I know I shouldn't be doing that, but I did. I keep it real here. It's real life. So what we're going to do is organize that pantry, but I'm not going to do that in this video. We'll save that for another video. What we're going to do is make a really yummy pantry meal, and we're also going to share a week's worth of menus with you. This is something that creeps in slowly. Not keeping my pantry organized, not rotating menus, tending to cook the same thing over and over, not utilizing what we have. I have a pantry full of food. I really need to use it before it expires. I need to rotate it, and I need to get back to being serious. So the first thing we're going to do is get into the kitchen, and we are going to make some yummy pantry dishes. Here we go. First thing we're going to prep is this package of organic red beets. If you all remember when I did my shopping haul, we got these on clearance from the Passover aisle. All the Passover food was 75% off, so we grabbed these. And we're going to make some good old-fashioned pickled beets. We have this package and we want to use it up, but you can roast your own beets, and even in a pinch, you can use canned beets. A cup of white cooking vinegar, a cup of water. I'm using some pickling spices. I have these left over from St. Patrick's Day when I made corned beef and cabbage. I had to get McCormick. That was the only brand that offered pickling spice. A little expensive, but we're going to make sure we use it. Third cup of sugar, but you adjust the sugar to your taste. These are not shelf stable. They must be kept in the refrigerator. We have got our vinegar, we have got our water, we have got our sugar, and now I'm putting in about a teaspoon of the pickling spice. I like it because it's got cinnamon in it, it's got cloves, it's got a little bit of everything. I think this is going to be perfect. At this point, you can also add salt. I will link the original recipe down below. And I'm just going to give this a mix, and we're going to bring it to a boil. I may add just a little bit more of the pickling spice, I think.
So now I'm just going to prepare these beets by chunking them up. We love to put these on salads. We love to put them on the side when you're having maybe a beef dish. Beets just have a wonderful flavor. I don't know, it's hard to explain. Little earthy, but what a delicious side. They're also very good for you. So I decided to add some sweet onion to our pickling sauce with our beets. This way we'll have a nice little pickled onions to go with it. I think that would taste delicious. That's probably more than enough.
This came to a boil, and then we lowered it, and now we're going to let it simmer for about 5 to 7 minutes. I did add a little extra cinnamon to the water because we just love that taste with the beets.
Look at this. I layered the beets and the onion rings inside this clean jar that we have, and we're going to now pour our vinegar mixture over the top.
I'm using my wide mouth funnel. I love this. We did let the mixture cool slightly before we poured it over. Perfect amount of brine. Make sure you scrape anything that's left in that pot. Now we're going to let this cool on the counter for just a little bit, maybe 30 minutes, and then we're going to cover it and put it in the refrigerator. It is not shelf stable. This is another way to pop that inflation balloon. Use up what you have. Make it into a gourmet item. Okay, this cooled for about 30 minutes. Gonna put the lid on, and this is going right in to the refrigerator. And I would let them sit in the refrigerator about 24 hours before eating, and then promptly refrigerate again. Now what we're going to do is turn the camera around, and I'm going to show you. I sat down and I planned a week's worth of menus using pantry and freezer items. So let's turn this camera around and get motivated. So I'm getting serious about meal planning even more so now. So I just sat down. I always do it quickly on a regular piece of paper first, and then I transfer it into my Happy Planner once I know. This way I am not crossing out and making all kinds of mistakes. Starting tonight, we're going to have pasta and Kalamata olives. Jars of Kalamata olives were on sale for $1.99 at ShopRite. And I think we bought like 6 jars. So we need to start using those up. Garlic bread, I have frozen Italian bread in the freezer, and then a fresh green salad. Saturday, chicken pot pie. I've got frozen chicken breasts. I've got frozen pie crust, and we're going to use some canned vegetables in the pantry. So as you can see, what I'm really trying to focus on is using up those pantry items. Sunday, we'll have leftovers. Monday will be Swedish meatballs. I have a ton of ground beef in the freezer. Over egg noodles, a lot of egg noodles in the pantry. And then I have many cans of green beans. And what I do is I make a cold green bean salad. I just take the can of green beans, I drain it, and then make a yummy vinaigrette dressing and pop them in the fridge. They're delicious. Tuesday, we're going to have some grilled sausages. I have a bunch of potatoes that I need to use up. And then the beets, we're going to be eating those throughout the week as well. Wednesday, we're going to have shepherd's pie. And I have canned vegetables that we'll use up, again, using what we have, and mashed potato topping on that. Thursday, we're going to do pasta primavera, which is just pasta with veggies in a light cream sauce. And I've got a ton of frozen vegetables. We're going to use those up as well, and dried pasta. And then Friday, we'll eat frozen fish, again, using up potatoes, make some mashed potatoes. And I have a bunch of carrots. We're going to make a fresh carrot salad with a lemon Dijon vinaigrette. And what you do with the carrot salad is you shred them. And then you mix that lemon Dijon vinaigrette and put it in the refrigerator. Absolutely delicious. Now, I have an entire week of eating out of my freezer and pantry. I don't need to buy a thing. I feel so much better that is done. It's planned. I have every single item in the house I need for that full week. I mean, I could have gone on and on, but I'm very proud. Did one full week and we're going to stick to it. Now, let's get back into the kitchen. So we are in the kitchen now, and I pulled out my Betty Crocker cookbook. I have a bunch of these from all different years. This one is 78. But the original was 69. So I guess they updated it in 78. So this book is basically 45 years old. It's funny, I think of the 70s as like not that long ago. Betty Crocker is my idol. She has been my idol since I was a young girl because basically Betty has all the answers. So being that we're doing some pantry cooking, we found this macaroni and cheese recipe, which I thought would be great because we're going to use up some egg noodles. Then what I thought was awesome, let's slide on down to here. There was a recipe for tuna macaroni and cheese. Now we have tuna in the house. Paul is not a huge tuna eater, but I am hoping this will work. He has agreed to it. It's a great way to use up some pantry items. So here's the recipe right here if you want to take a quick screenshot of it. Somebody wrote right here, add 1 egg to prevent dryness. Now this was in the cookbook when I bought it. I must have bought this literally 10 years ago. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. And we are going to let Betty Crocker do her magic. So these are our basic, simple ingredients. It called for 8 ounces of cheese. You know me, I think that's just way too much cheese. I know it's macaroni and cheese. You put in the 8 ounces if you feel comfortable. This is about 6 ounces. It's Monterey Jack and a little bit of American. You're going to also need 6 ounces of egg noodles or elbow macaroni, something like that. We're going to use egg noodles because, again, we have them in the pantry and we have a surplus. 1 3/4 cup of milk, a 1/4 chopped onion, 4 tablespoons of butter, 1/4 cup of flour, and then 1 5-ounce can of tuna that we drained. What's funny is, if you look at the recipe, it called for a 6.5-ounce can of tuna. Well, that no longer exists. They are now 5 ounces. A perfect example of shrinkflation and adjusting recipes. First thing I'm going to do is boil the pasta until it's just about al dente. While our water's coming to a boil, we're going to melt our 4 tablespoons of butter. We're going to saute the onion until it is tender. I'm just grating a little black pepper in and salt it to taste. Okay, we sauteed these onions. They're translucent. I'm going to add the 1/4 cup flour. We're basically making a roux. So we're just going to cook this for about a minute. We want to make sure that flour gets rid of that doughy taste. Now we're going to add the milk. We're going to gently give this a good whisk, and we're going to let this get smooth and creamy. I I have it over medium heat now. While this is getting thick, you want to keep whisking it. You don't want it to stick to the bottom. Okay, so I cooked this just about a minute and a half. It is nice and thick now. So I just turned the heat off. We're gonna add our cheese, which still seems like a lot to me, but let's get every bit of this. There we go. Gonna give this a mix, and you're gonna melt this right into our roux. This is like a glorified tuna casserole. That's what it reminds me of. And we could add some peas to this. That would be delicious, I bet. But we're gonna keep it as written. Now I'm also going to add in our 5-ounce can of tuna because they do not make 6.5-ounce cans anymore. And just flake it as you're putting it in. We're just gonna heat this through. So I took our cooked noodles and we just cooked them 6 minutes. It called for 6 to 8, so I did 6 because it's gonna go in the oven. And now I'm gonna take our delicious cheesy sauce and we're gonna put it right over the top. Remember, please don't leave anything in your pot. Scrape it really well. You paid for those ingredients. This is a greased pan and I am mixing it right in here. That's what the book said to do. I think peas would have been amazing in this. Definitely. You know what else? Mushrooms. I know Paul is not a mushroom eater, but man, this would be good. And we're not using canned soups. We're making this all from scratch, which I love that idea. Now I preheated my oven to 375 degrees. Because these ingredients are cooked, it says 375 for 30 minutes. I think that's way too long. I think it'll dry out completely. I'm going to do 375 for 15 minutes. Really, you could skip the oven part because everything is already cooked. Now, if you want, you have some Ritz crackers, put some Ritz crackers on top, put some breadcrumbs on top. You can doctor this up any way you want. We're keeping it simple this time around just to try the basic recipe. This just came out of the oven. This is some bubbly goodness. I cooked it for 15 minutes, not the 30, and I am so happy I did. It is still ooey and gooey and cheesy, and it is hot all the way through. This is going to be amazing. Paul is going to be our taste tester. Now you have to remember that Paul does not like tuna, so this is going to be a real taste test. This looks so good. I really am sorry I didn't add peas though. Next time. Got my taste tester. Show them your shirt. I might look like I'm listening to you, but in my head I'm playing my guitar. Is that from my brother?
Yes, it is.
I love that.
I love it. Okay, here it goes. Tuna mac and cheese. Definitely cheesy. That's good. I don't even taste that tuna taste that I don't like. Yeah, little peas or some broccoli in this, even a vegetable medley. This is just really good. Look, Dixie. Yeah, Paul approved. We love having those pickled beets in the refrigerator to add to salads, to eat as a side dish, like Paul said. They're so yummy. It was such a great price, and we're using up what we bought in a timely fashion. And the tuna mac and cheese was so yummy. It was so fun to pull out my cookbook again, the Betty Crocker, and go back in time, like 40-something years now, and just revisit that recipe and make it. It was so good. Again, using pantry staples. I forget that the pantry is there, and it's like having a mini store in my house. I need to shop it a lot more, and I encourage you to do the same. Well, we hope this video was encouraging, and you know what I'm going to ask you to leave in the comments down below. Give me your best pantry meal. What is a meal you make from your pantry? Please share that with us down below, because right now I need to get serious, I need to get motivated, and we need to save some money. And we know that our viewers will get motivated as well. What do you grab from your pantry to make a yummy, quick, frugal meal? We thank you so much for spending this time with us. We ask, if you haven't subscribed yet,
hit that subscribe button. Come on in. We would love to have you be part of our family. Leave us a comment. If you have any questions about anything, give us your yummy pantry meal. And please, if you would be so kind, give this video a big thumbs up. YouTube has changed its algorithms again, and so we're all over the map. So if you could give this a big thumbs up, it would help us so much. We ask you to be well. We ask you to be safe. And above all, we wish you blessings. Until our next video, may God greatly bless you.